I get the honor today to introduce our speaker, Reverend Stephen Poplin. And I went online and found a little information about him. No. Stephen is a spiritual hypnotherapist and transpersonal astrology. He is focused professionally and personally on social improvement through self-awareness and spiritual understanding. His hypnotic specialties are past lives regressions, life between lives, integration sessions, transpersonal journeys, and talent enhancement. Stephen, after attending 6 universities in the United States and in Europe, received his Bachelor of Science degree in philosophy and his Master's in Humanities from Old Dominion University, right here in Norfolk. He has been a college instructor in several campuses from Virginia to California and Germany. He has studied history, drama, therapy, astrology, tarot, numerology, drama therapy, metaphysics. He moved to Virginia Beach and studied the Edgar Cayce readings, where he gave many talks at the ARE. Stephen sees patients, and he taught courses at the Center for Integrative Medicine, a part of George Washington University Medical Center in Washington. He trained with Dr. Michael Newton. Stephen is a former international director of the Michael Newton Institute for Life Between Lives Hypnotherapy. He is a member of the International Association of Counselors and Therapists. He travels frequently, giving talks and leading seminars. He makes his home right here in Virginia Beach. And we are honored that he serves on our pastoral council as a pastor and on the board of directors. And I'm also honored today to tell you that he brought cake. Out on the table is some delicious cake with chocolate frosting that I'm going to sample.
Should have started with that.
Stephen, it was wonderful reading about you and introducing you. Welcome. And so he was known for his cake. So thank you for that, Larry. That's really great. That's what happens when you live many decades. You do a couple different things here and there. So today is the 10th of April. And I'll be talking about that because I love kind of like the almanac and pay attention to timings and dates and what might be happening right here. But I'm always very aware of a polarity going on. And here we have spring, beautiful spring. If you've seen the beautiful blossoms and the flowers and so forth, this is just a lovely time of the year. And, of course, this is in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, welcome to autumn, the polarity. Now, this is also Palm Sunday, as we all know, from the wonderful music that we've been hearing. And so palms, of course, in that area, that region, the Middle East, because those are the trees that would grow there. Although this is an international perspective too, in other locations, now we're talking geography, in other places they don't have palm trees. So it's also called Branch Sunday. And in other places, they use conifers and they use birch trees. They use various sorts of things. But it happens to be, the big coincidence is today is Arbor Day. Yay, trees. And the beautiful trees and the trees that you plant, and they have their life and they have their glory. And right now they're blossoming. And then
Then in the autumn, they lose their leaves, and here we have the cycles, the life and then the death. We have spring here in the north, and we have autumn over there in the south, the polarities. And so on this day, in a Christian perspective, in the history, Jesus enters Jerusalem on a donkey, the sign of a peaceful entry and his mission. He would be accused of the opposite, and within a week. And it would all go sour, but that was the plan. So we are talking about great beginnings and going for it no matter what the outcome. And putting yourself perhaps in Jesus's footsteps, to have the wonders and the parade and the hosannas, going into Jerusalem, with all of his apostles and friends and well-wishers, knowing where it's going, knowing what's going to happen in 1 week. Would you do it? Would you go for it? That's a tough one. Yeah. Would you do it anyway? Well, beginnings and endings. I just returned from Washington State, where we had a memorial for my mother, whose birthday was March 31st, and she would have been 93. Many years ago, she wrote a poem of her demise, a poem of goodbye, 22 years ago. A soul set free. When my life's journey has ended, God will reach out his hand for me. Celebrate the joy intended for a soul that has been set free. Don't bow your head in sorrow and then pray that I was still there. God has answered my request. He's handled my going with care. Don't let sadness enfold your heart. Merely miss me if that's your aim. I know we'll meet again real soon. Now I'm free from my pain. This is part of our Father's plan as we step on this road for home. Loved ones will greet me on the way. Never will God leave us alone. Till we meet again on this side, you may gather with friends for me. I've left behind fond memories. Now be glad, for a soul set free. On this date, April 10th, 1866, 1 year after the end of the Civil War, the American Society for the Prevention of the Cruelty to Animals is founded in New York City by Henry Bergh. Imagine that after that terrible war, after so much carnage, and a lot of animals, by the way, were killed and maimed in that war. And then 1 year later, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Wow. What was planted, with Henry Bergh, that later then said, wow, that came to an end. But now, Let's take care of animals. Again, on this day, Arbor Day, that was in 1872. Here in the United States, it was celebrated in Nebraska, and they planted thousands of trees at that point. And that is basically the idea, to plant the trees that sometimes you will never see grown. But would you do it anyway? In other countries, very similar to having a branch Sunday on this day, they have different times that they would plant trees because they have a different climate, a different microclimate, a different portion of the year, of the geography of the earth. And so we'll find the Arbor Day, we find the glorification of the Tree Day, sometimes a Tree Week in different countries around the world, in China and South America and Iran and so many places. This really did catch on. It started in Spain in the late 1500s, and there was a mayor there in a small town that said, let's glorify the tree. Let's plant that. And then in our modern times, also in Spain, in the early 1800s, they again started, planting trees and honoring trees. Nature, Gaia, was probably very happy about all that. In some cultures, they have incorporated this idea of the tree planting Arbor Day, and then they plan a wedding or an engagement right after that. Again, symbolically, when you plant a tree and then you get married, or when you get engaged, you are thinking about on down the road. What a great idea, what a great custom that is. Something also very interesting and important, and yet it also has a light and a dark side. And that's what's going on here. The 10th of April in 1939, Alcoholics Anonymous, AA's big book, was published. And as you probably know, there are people who succumb to alcoholism, to various drugs, and sometimes they have to hit bottom, and then they start to rise again, like planting those seeds and a tree is formed, and they see the light, and they don't know exactly what this thing called God is, but they know that there is a higher power. And during this memorial that I just attended, I had a family member tell me about his journey, and that he is now 3 years in his sobriety, and he is really clear, and he is strong, and he is talking straight. And I go, wow, what a transformation that he has had. Good for him. He went through a really rough time, and but now he is a teacher. He is having different sponsors and meetings, and he's giving talks and so forth. And 5 years ago, I would never have guessed that. A renaissance, as it were, in an individual. And we can take a look at this tree planted here, that big book of Alcoholics Anonymous planted on this day, the 10th of April. So recognizing now that each of us can be also planting our seeds and making a difference, and thinking about, yes, okay, I may never see the results of what I'm planting here right now, but would you do it anyway? So we have got here in the skies, and I prophesized this here about 4 weeks ago in March when I spoke here before. I said, you know, there's the waves and we've got the swells. And this is the time. It's going to be exact here on the 12th of April. But we've got in the sky here, we've got Jupiter and Neptune aligned just like that in the sky in the sign of Pisces. And this happens like once every 13 years. But in this particular degree, it'll never happen again. So it's special. And it's inspiring. All 3 points here. Jupiter is number one, international, expansive, oftentimes very humorous, enthusiastic, interested in the new and positive and things far away and fantastic. And then it is lining, it's having a meeting of the cosmic minds, as it were, with Neptune. Neptune of spirituality, inspirations, kind of a vague sense of we're all one, aren't we? Can't quite define it. In the sign of Pisces, which is the great waters, the 2 fish swimming in opposite directions. One going upstream, doing the good fight, really striving to do your best. The other fish a bit lazy, you know, pulling back, saying, why can't we just swim downstream? Take it easy. Yeah, a little bit of a tug of war there. But again, that's talking about the polarities. So here, at this time, right now, with this alignment, let's attune to this energy. As I said, it's very rare. And it's a wonderful opportunity to plant some seeds within your heart, right here, right now. Are you ready? As you breathe, let's go within and recognize that wonderful polarity, spring and autumn, light and dark, the sun and the moon. A wonderful opportunity and expansion. And as you breathe, breathe in light and know that the sun is shining above right now. The sun. Breathe in the light of the sun right now. Take it in. It comes from above, the light, the rays of the sun. Breathing it in, taking it in, bringing it down your body, down into your heart, down, down. The polarity, the earth, Gaia below us, Mother Earth below our feet. Breathing that energy, the earthiness, the beauty, the trees, the blossoms, the flowers, the glory of our earthly side. Breathing it up your legs, up your body. And there it meets the sunlight like a campfire, a light in your heart. And there you are in the middle. The light above, the earth below, you right here in the middle. You next to a campfire in a beautiful setting. And what is it that you wish? What would you like to accomplish or see this year, 2022? Where would you like to be in a year or two. Feel that, visualize that, really bring it into focus there by your campfire, and feel an inner excitement as well as peace, like an inner smile, a smile. Hosanna. May it be so. I make my statement. I plant my tree. I proclaim to God, to Spirit, that this may be manifest. My dream, my ideal, be manifest. Hosanna. May it be so. Thank you. Thank you. And we breathe, we breathe. Coming back, coming back. Happy Arbor Day. Happy Palm Sunday, or Branch Day, or Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Day. Okay? Go out there and be fabulous. Thank you.